Well, good morning, afternoon, whatever it is in your time zone. Welcome to Flying with Mike. I'd like to say yesterday was a great break, but boy, I am exhausted from two 5-month olds, and I am ready to go. Matter of fact, I think you'll enjoy what's on the screen. Man, Rat, welcome in. Welcome, sir. Um, That is not my doing, folks. I guess that's one of those special things we have to find out here sometimes in X-Plane 12. And if you're not sure, read the sign. But anyway, hang on a second, folks. I am just about ready here. Hoping I started the sim right. Pretty sure I did. I did. All right. Yeah, I was pretty sure, but when I sometimes say that, yeah, I didn't, and I don't get to fly it for an airline. So, today I think this might be the first time I flew a United Airlines aircraft. And good Lord. Well, it's been a long time, but streaming wise, I think it is the first. So, here we go with United, folks. We're doing a flight. Now, it's not 100% the flight I wanted to do. Obviously, we're not allowed to recreate flights of that infamous day yesterday. However, there was a flight. Didn't get a lot of press during that event. Obviously, our eyes were drawn where the new World Trade Tower stands right here. Maybe my cursor's working, maybe it's not. Anyway, right off the winglet here, the tall building you see, that is the World Trade Tower number one. I've heard they might build a second, but I think there's a lot of controversy in the city over that. I'm too far removed. I don't want to interject either way. Um, but it's an impressive building if you ever get to see it, folks. Right across the street ish are the memorial pools. And, folks, whew, that is a rough sight to see. But if once you get past emotion, those pools are where the towers sat, their foundations in them. And that blows my mind away. Hey, bad attitude, welcome in, welcome in. The you see the sheer magnitude of those two towers when they did stand. And to find out that's where they sat in the ground. Not, you know, oh, we're going to just put the fountain here or the pool here and here. No, that is where it rose from. The whole building, folks. Each tower. It's mind mesmerizing to look at what appear to be pretty small pools and realize a 110-story building or more stood on that pool, and then the one next to it, the same thing. It just, that part blew my mind away, and it still does every time I go back and go there, let alone going through the names and of all who perished that day. It just mind blowing. Um, and if you really want to get a good sense, folks, build a home. Build a home. Go to a builder and say, hey, I want to build a home. Want it this amount of square feet and this, that, and the other. Let them lay the foundation, and it's going to blow your mind away that what you told them to build and what you see for a foundation, that's the same thing going on here with those pools. Mesmerizing. That, no way. That is not what I bought until you get walls. Then it all comes together. So, just an amazing, amazing area that New York City has dedicated to remembering 9/11. So, but anyway, back to this, not this particular flight, because now I found out it may have departed Boston, and it ended up diverting. Like I said, it did not get a lot of press. It's slowly beginning to enter, 23 years later, the dialogue. But folks, this plane landed. Um, that is awesome, awesome. Bad attitude. Good luck to you. Hope the best for you. Uh, Gosh, that's great to hear you had your interview. Awesome. Um, but this flight in particular, folks, now granted, not a 737 either, um, I believe was headed for the West Coast, diverted to Cleveland because of an unruly passenger. Now, at the same time, two planes had already hit the World Trade Center, and I believe, I'm trying to remember the timeline. But anyway, and then the Pentagon, as we all know. What happened in Pennsylvania had not happened yet. And this plane comes in with an unruly passenger. Oh, yeah, Cleveland went on high alert. I mean, SWAT the whole 9 yards. They thought they had one. And everything, thank God, went well with it. I mean, granted, the unruly passenger, you were dumb, the wrong day to become unruly. But thankfully, that flight did not get a lot of um, talk. Uh, all of it, of course, and I'm going to say right back. Frederick, Maryland at the time. Wow. Ooh, that's not far from the Pentagon. Yeah, it took me a second to figure where you were going with that bad attitude. Got it. Yeah, that was a day, folks. And like I told you all on the last flight, I had just ended my very first shift out there at the airport that would 23 years later get rid of me. But that's not related. Um, Ended my first shift on September 10. Usually, when I was in the Air Force, I'd be going back the next day to work. However, the civilian world goes 24 hours on, 48 hours off. And I was actually waking up at home and not having to go to work. And seeing World Trade Tower, whichever I don't want to get wrong here, folks. The first tower hit, and wondering what the heck. Knowing about the B-25 earlier, many years ago, hitting the Empire State Building, whole different set of circumstances, folks. Hence why the World Trade Center was built for a B-25, not a 767 loaded with fuel. Um, but then watched, as we all did, that banking 757. I mean, banking hard. He almost missed if you guys didn't watch it carefully. He almost missed. That's how hard he was. It's because they didn't understand the speed turning. Like I wouldn't. Um, that you were doing in Cessnas is not the same at a full speed 757, 767. And like I said, if you watch, he kind of almost missed. Um, so, but unfortunately he didn't. And yeah, we know history after that. That would be the first tower to come down. So, and it was right over there, folks. I got a lot of questions that I've really never sat down myself to try to answer them. What did the guys at Newark and JFK see? And now looking at this distance, okay, part of it, they would see the smoke, but that's about it. If this is to be believed. So, but anyway, folks, we've sat on the ground here long enough. Oh, yeah, by the way, the plane's ready to go. We're So what we're doing today as the, oh, right on time too. We're flying Newark to Cleveland, not scheduled to go on like that other flight would have done. Would have flown, I think it was Boston, San Francisco. Don't quote me on that. But diverted into Cleveland. All right. So we got everybody on board, folks. If you didn't catch uh, Bad Attitude and Matt Rat, check out that fuel truck. Like I said, there's these little things, I guess, to find out there and explain that I never knew this was in here, folks, till today. It's awesome. That probably just lost my license for X-Plane 12. No. Oh, well. Anyway, folks, that's awesome that you find these little things in here. So, again, real quick, we'll let you all see it, and then we're going to get into briefing this flight. And if you all miss it, well, you're going to see it at least every time you go to the YouTube page because it's going to be up there. So, all right. So let's get some toolkit in here and brief this up. We got us about an hour and a half to get over there. And then later today, folks, we're planning to hop over to Toulouse, France, and join a VATSIM event there to Geneva. So Lake Geneva, Switzerland. So barring everything goes well. But we got to get this flight in first, so let's take a look at it. You got Sim Toolkit up there. I'm just going to hit two buttons here, that and that. All right, so as you can see, pretty much the weather's pretty decent. The weather gets kind of as you get closer to where I live. The I don't know if it's remnants yet, tropical storm, tropical depression, a Francine working its way basically up the Mississippi, as what I've been told. Kind of looks a little west of it, but anyway, we're supposed to see a little bit of the rain here in St. Louis. How much? That's what time is for. It'll tell. All right, but anyway, here's our routing. Okay, so basically, we're going to take off runway 22 right, head up to NEWEL, and then follow it J60 to PSB, to upper, and then set up for the tribe for arrival. Tribe. What could that possibly mean? Huh. Inquiring minds kind of curious. But anyway, that's the game plan, landing 2-4 up there. All right, today we've got a full load, folks. 180 people all signed their non-disclosure agreements. We got zero cargo, and we have all of that adds up to 36,000 pounds of payload, and the rampies threw on 18,811 pounds of go-go juice. Dispatch, thank you, gave us a cost index of 30 and flight level 360 for the flight. So looks like a very nice, easygoing flight. We're going to start getting things rolling here because VATSIM is waking up in the U.S. Oh, we are definitely not taking off 2 hours before. However, we could go here, drop down here, fill in the blanks that are missing. Maybe. Oh, that wily guy got rid of that page. Hang on, let me draw it back up. There we go. And we're on our way, folks. Flight plan will be in the system here momentarily. And all right, there we go. Flight plans filed. United Flight 4791. Service to Cleveland. Like I said, I believe this is the first time I've actually flown a United flight on stream. Now, the interesting thing is, will I do like I did in Boeing Field over in Toulouse? Inquiring minds curious. Oh, wow. I think we need to play the threes in the lottery today. Okay, got that all geared up. And head over here, .ctaf for KEWR. Get our CTAP, I think it's 1830. It is. Punch that over. All right, I think we're ready to go. Let me look over my shoulder. Pretty sure door's closed. All right, here we go. My bad.
Everybody's closed up outside. We're just waiting to get some of our performance numbers and the clearance from air traffic control. We should be underway. It's our pleasure having you on board with us today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. Should be underway here shortly. Thanks for flying with Delta today.
Your tray table is put away and all carry-on items are properly stowed. As we come through the cap.
All right, here we go, folks. Yeah, I interrupted him. Captain prerogative. All right, here, and here. Okay, so there's our 180 aboard, 13,811. So everything looks good, folks. Let's get to.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Just trying.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, so let's go through it real quick here, folks. All right, so fasten seatbelts. I don't know, do we have fuel in the center? I think we do. No, we don't. Okay, cool. Okay, they're off. All right, and we're on the right side. Yaw damper can be turned on.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Now, if you forget, folks, ZIBO does get rid of them, and I think they just did. Yes, they get rid of the chocks. Other ones will not, so always look before you start your push. All right, so speed will be 162 out of here. Heading 219, was it? I will double check.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
She can wait just a second. Oop. Yeah, 219. All right, and 36,000. Okay, minimums. Okay, and finally, our altimeter is 12 minutes old, 3027. Okay, we're ready to push, folks. Any collisions, fuel pumps, get those on as we push. Releasing brakes.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, here we go. All right, we're getting stable here. Let's go ahead and bring on that generator. Crank up number 2, or number 1. All right, folks, we are pushed back.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, let's get this thing ready to rock. So as soon as they're gone, fuel pumps are, let's see, ignitions, engine 1, engine 2. All right, up top, here we go. All right, hydraulic A on. Gens are on. AC/DC to 2. Probe heaters coming on. Anti-ice left packs on. All right, and we can shut the APU down. Always
Tow is
make sure.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thanks for the pushback, always free. We appreciate you. Better pushback. All right, as I was getting ready to say, folks, make sure your fuel pumps are on. Also, make sure your generators are on, especially before you're on your engine gens before you turn it off. Otherwise, it's going to go dark. So, all right, finish this up here. APU's off, flaps 5. Okay, and we'll have taxi lights on in a minute. Auto brakes to takeoff, reject takeoff, that is. And ATC to Terra, we'll get that right now because we like to forget it. To the controller, they have no idea when we forget that. To us, we just won't see anybody around us. Heading bug is set for the runway. We'll quickly go to status here. Just to make sure no maintenance gust locks are in place or forgotten. Would never happen. Okay, brakes are cool. We're ready to go. We'll blank this. Okay, and finally, click and click. Newark ground, or Newark common traffic. United 4097, taxi to runway 22 Whiskey 10 intersection. Correction, United 4791. Here we go, folks. They didn't draw the scenery well. All right, folks, we're heading up to Whiskey 10. Actually, I think it's Whiskey. Don't know why the ATIS was saying Whiskey 10. But yeah, somehow the grass is showing, so they've either got the taxiway too narrow or something didn't line up right in their calculations. Here comes a Whiskey. Got nobody out there. However, we'll be cordial. Make sure we're ready to do a rolling takeoff. Okay, auto brake set. Well, let's see here. Okay, and last but not least, nobody in the pattern. Okay, here we go. And Newark, common traffic, United 4791, taking off, runway 22, intersection Whiskey.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking off in just a few minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare to stand up for departure.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Toga. Airspeed's alive.
80 knots. E1, rotate. Positive rate. $400. $1,000.
Okay, next turn will be to heading 220. Okay, flaps are up. Engine starts, landing lights are coming. All right, let's go ahead and start turning towards NEWEL. Just gonna Okay, again, flaps are up, auto brake gear off. 3 minutes. Okay, and we are now direct. Let's make sure we're on LNAV to do so. We didn't do that last time. And yeah, that just does not make for a good day, folks. All right, we're on our way to NEWEL. Right at the base of Staten Island, right behind us. Yikes. Sorry about that, folks. Alright, let you all recover your ears. Whew, sorry about that. I always forget this plane, it's always much louder. Alright, we're gonna have to get VATSIM on here. Kind of curious. Got some people popped up there in New York City. Alright, we're on our way, folks. We should get one of our... Oh, which one today? We'll do Elevatech. And I keep meaning to do this, folks, and I haven't yet. I am one of the alpha testers out there for Elevatech. Haven't really seen a whole lot of things I brought up with them. That's okay. Um, Not really in it to gain notoriety. Just hope they make a really good product. You know, right now I use Sim Toolkit, as you all know, and they're patterning a lot off of um, Volanta. I'm not a huge fan of Volanta, mainly because it's a lot of payware in there that shouldn't be, and but we tolerate it. So I'm part of Elevatech. Fingers crossed, what we're putting into this, what's being put into this, won't go payware on you. And it is what it is. I mean, I get it. We're all trying to make a buck. Heck, I am. I've upped my commercials to try to make a few more dollars here. But I am working with Elevatech, hoping through this. I mean, there's a lot of us working with them, testing what they put out to us, and hopefully we give you all a good product. Be watching for it. I have no knowledge of timelines. Don't ask me. I don't even want to entertain them. I'll probably ignore you if you put an ask up there. So, and I don't mean to be rude, but that really gets under my skin when people do that. I know what that is. So, um, with Elevatech, folks, you'll be able to track your flights, your friends in VATSIM and IVAO and all of that, just like you do on Volanta and Sim Toolkit right now. We're trying to see where they elevate from those two. And I'm here to tell you the platform with Sim Toolkit's a pretty tough one to beat. But open-mindedly, I'm in here. Hey, I'll try to help anyone try to make their product better if I can. I don't know programming, I don't know coding, but I know what I like. So that's a start. So, but we're on our way, folks. What that alarm was, the first officer forgot to turn the packs on. Hmm. I guess that means it was me. Thankfully, it's a simulator, folks. Thankfully. But the virtual people aren't doing well back there. Probably have somebody right here because yep. Ah! Oh, man. All right, we're on our way, folks. We have departed New York City. And we are headed to Cleveland. I don't know which is worse. But anyway, being somebody from Ohio, I can actually get away with saying that. Although they still may beat me to a pulp, but at least I'm from Ohio and can admit, not sure which is better. New York City or Cleveland. But I will give Cleveland this. Here, driving the truck, folks, in the 1990s, I got to see a few things that happened in this country. Some for the trucking world, but Cleveland. Now, I'm not about to diss you guys, so don't get your little uh, tutus in an uproar yet. Um, when I started driving the truck, let's see, I started driving in 92. Um, can't remember when the river burned with all the hazmat and all of the waste that was in the rivers and all around Cleveland. Um, oh, that's where I get the term. Don't know which is better. Um, however, in the 10 years that I was on the road, so we're talking, call it 9 because I came off in 2001. Um, I watched Cleveland clean up to where when I started, it was kind of a dingy, dirty atmosphere coming. I mean, folks, we're in the heart of the Rust Belt, so steel mills, coal um, mining, and uh, plants are all over the place in Ohio. Um, Up along I-80. If you're not familiar, it's one of the northern interstates of the U.S. Cuts right through or just south of Cleveland. But all along I-80 were where cars were made. So your steel mills, your coal powered power plants, all of this just pumping. And Cleveland had a whole bunch. St. Louis, don't think I'm not going to leave you out of this one. You did too. Um, But in that 10 years, we'll call it, that um, hazy, smoggy look to it slowly went away as they idled, or as unfortunate, they probably were idled because of the economy of the mid to late 90s. Um, yeah, I know y'all forget that. Um, but it slowly transformed into not this dirty, dingy place that I was taught of when I graduated out of Dayton, Ohio, roughly 200, 250 miles south and west. Um, so I will give you that, Cleveland. That is just flat out amazing what happened up there. Unfortunately, what the city had to go through, oh, very, it was, and I think still is very rough because of a lot of plants got idled. And I don't know if they ever came back or not. I haven't been to Cleveland since, well, probably 2001. So, or in the vicinity of it. And it's, like I said, it was a really an amazing transformation I watched. Wish I could say the same for LA, but well, LA will be LA. Um, hug a few more trees. I don't know. But anyway, so that I will give Cleveland. They did amazing. New York City, on the other hand, got worse. After the mayor left, it got real. It's getting bad again, and if not, it's unreal. So, oh well, that's the way philosophy in this country works, and we'll leave it at that so we don't delve into politics, because I don't want to. All right, so we are airborne. We're 35 minutes out, I believe is what I'm reading. That's one of my things, and I don't know if that's an Elevatech thing or a me thing, this little banner up here. Um, I'm gonna been trying to figure out how to increase the font sizes because I'm here to tell you they're pretty hard to read. So, and I'm all about people being able to see what I'm doing because I know you're trying to figure it out for your use at home. Don't do this in the real plane, folks, please. And if so, let me be in the right seat so I can be the one. No. Oh, but anyway, Shampoo Flyer, thank you so much for the resubscribe for 3 months. We appreciate you. Thank you, sir. But anyway, but yeah, I don't know if this is something I have to update myself or if that's something on their end. So I'm almost half tempted to go to the Sim Toolkit one because it is a lot easier to read. Okay, we got 35 minutes to go, folks. Let's kind of look at this simple. It's a real simple. I still hate ads. Well, um, yeah, I get it, Shampoo. I get it. And unfortunately, like I said, folks, I did increase this, I think, to 5 minutes an hour of ads from the 3 minutes we used to run. I think it was 3 minutes. Anyway, I have raised the threshold, trying to help get some money in for the stream to try to help pay some bills for the stream, as well as some projects coming down the road I may partake in. So, Just not 100% sure yet if, which ones. So I do my best, folks, that any money brought into the stream stays in the stream. Even though I'm unemployed, I will put that out there transparent 100%. Um, I have not taken a dime from what we've earned at the airline to help pay bills at the house. So I am trying to put it all in. Lately, it's been sounds. Tomorrow, we'll be flying the A320 again, and we have a sound set in there that I think is pretty good. Um, and like I've been saying, I'm looking to bring that kind of quality into the TOLUS aircraft for sounds. Hopefully, it'll cure one of the problems I have with TOLUS. We'll see. Not holding my breath to it. So, but we're on our way, folks. Let's bring in those charts now and take a look at our arrival since, well, we didn't really look at the departure. All right, so coming into Dogtown, Dog Pound, whatever you want to call it, it all starts with dogs, and that is Cleveland. Never figured that one out, folks, even when I lived in Ohio, where that came from. Uh, Indians and Browns, I forget what the basketball team is, don't really care about basketball. Um, don't know where any of that brought dogs out, but that's what they call them. So, probably something I probably just don't really want to know. All right, so as you can see, folks, we got Fort Dothan, PSB, which is Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, to Upper. And then from Upper, we start the Tribe for arrival. And folks, this is not what I would have been expecting for names when you put them on, like considering we flew into Washington, D.C. last on Tuesday, and we watched how they set up the star fixes and names and all. You say tribe, I don't see this, unless just because I'm not an Indian fan. So, I'm not even a baseball fan anymore. So, anyway, so the Tribe 4 goes like this, folks. It is a RNAV approach, all runways, 6 2-4s and 2-8s. One of the interesting things about Cleveland Hopkins, you can see how close to the lake lake that it is. And yes, Cleveland, not as much as Buffalo, but pretty close. You live north of I-80, folks, in Ohio, PA, and then swing it up along the, keep it about that distance up along upper New York and all, you're going to get dumped on in the winter by lake effect snow. The water's warm, the cold air comes over, and if you haven't ever seen them, there's cameras they have in Boston on different buildings aimed at the lake. You can see these bands come in. They're broken apart. It literally, folks, could snow on your house and not the one across the street. They're that particular. It's just an amazing event to watch. Um, I've got a story about it. We'll save if we have time. I'll get to it, and if I remember to. Yep, at 59, I may not remember it. But anyway, so as we saw, upper at or above 24,000, 16,000 to 23 at Decree, 280 knots all the way into Tribe. Tribe will be at 10,000 to 19,000. And then Nagy at above 7 and Budrow at 240 and 6,000. That'll be our initial fix for the ILS. All right, those of you that know these charts, I love showing this part of it. just because it helps you out a lot. The top third of this, folks, is called the briefing strip. This is what you read. You get to know, and then you look at what you gotta do to execute it right below it. So you got your frequencies running across the top. We will have to set 1099. That is our ILS frequency. Hippie. Uh, Approach course is 238 degrees. Feeler at 2000. And our decision altitude is 200 feet above the ground. Descent altitude 986. So basically, folks, how this works, add 200 feet to the touchdown zone, and it's an amazing number. It's the same. It's the same point in sky. It's just, where are you measuring from? Are you measuring from the ground, or are you measuring from sea level? So sea level is bold, bracketed, and not bold is above ground. By the way, your METARs, your clouds, the bases of those are above the ground. I really hope you figured that out. If not, go fly Bogota. You'll quickly learn. It says the base is at 2,000 feet. I'm already sitting at 8,000. And I do mean to get back to Bogota. So we're working on it, folks. Missed approach. Hope you've been reading it, but that's the procedure, folks. Basically, a left climbing turn to 3,000 on a heading of 200. Direct a DJB VOR to Sorrow and hold. Now let's just transition on down. So we're coming in from Budrow. Got some items here. Mandatory 5,000 feet. Correction, 6,000 feet. Mandatory 240 knots. Now, that is the maximum. Okay, big fights on YouTube can be heard, folks, between real world pilots and real world controllers over the word at. The most notable is JetBlue versus New York approach. Um, yeah, this really happens on ATs. You thought unruly passengers? Oh no, there's unruly flight deck members too. Arrogance meets arrogance. Guess what you get? A big show. So, anyway, we're going to go Budrow to Weiner. Weiner now, as you can see, is delineated with the number 1, maximum 210. To Anjay, to Almore. Now again, these are max, so it's not the word at, meaning you got to be at that speed. See the difference? We can go no faster than 240 at Budrow, 210 at Weiner. So if I want to do 210 from Budrow to Weiner, I'm perfectly legal. Now, if it said at 240 at Budrow, then we're going to be in one of those fights. Well, good. Till you realize, crap. Yeah, that's the problem. Both sides of that argument do not relent. Probably the controllers a little more I'll give to that side, but uh-oh. Something's going on in Cleveland. Hang on. What happened? Did we have a runway change? We sure as heck did. They're now on the ILS for runway 6. All right, so bear with me, folks. Thank goodness it's here and not there. Let me first get it in here. Oh, there we go. All right, before I go here, oh, crud. Let me re-show this to you. What I saw was red here, folks, which told me something changed. Cleveland arrival, so we're coming in ILS runway 6 right in use. 6 left, 24 right closed. This is real world, by the way, 51 minutes ago. And okay. So now let's go here, click approaches. All right, so I've got an RNAV off Jane. I think we're gonna, I know they're why are they still making, this makes no sense sometimes. He should be angled up here to the 6s, not the 2-4s, and yet they're clung to the 2-4s. All right, so what we'll do is we'll fly to Jane, vector ourselves over to post, and then come in. I know we haven't gotten that far, but we just had a change I have to make. All right, so we're going to go tribe to Nagy, now to Clevto between 7 and 10,000, and out to Jane at or above or at 7,000 to 10. There's the word at. So that will be the speed we cross it at. Hopefully. If the plane behaves right. Now, we got to get in here because top of descent's coming. Okay, first thing, get our heading set right. And now, bear with me here. ILS now will just be, like I said, from Jane out here to doors. We'll probably turn, wow, 8 and 6. I may head to Ramones and come in there. Okay, and then proceed in. ILS 111.9, 2000 at Dillon. And why am I looking at the wrong chart? There we go. And again, 200 feet. Now, if we go out to Grull and work our way in, that could take time. So that's why I'm just going to fly and intercept off the turn. Okay, and then down here, our minimums for today is 200.5 mile. So 200 feet or higher broken overcast, half-mile visibility. As long as we have that, we're legal. Otherwise, we drop to the Cat 2 arrival. Okay, let's get this done quickly. Okay, go to the departure arrival. We have a change. What did we say? 6 right. Okay, let me look at it very quickly here. Okay, growl, rush, hicker. And so we'll go tribe, upper, ILS, execute, legs. Perfect. All right. There's top of descent descending on us real quickly. So we're looking good. Note This, folks, by the way, is where a lot of your FMC issues come into play. They'll go, all of a sudden it did this. 9 out of 10 times what it's doing is going back to either the first fix of the star or the one right behind you. That's why, if you're careful, keep your heading pretty close to your course. When you recognize that, punch it to heading select. Take it off LNAV. It's going to write the plane back to the heading you were on. Now you're going to be off course. Figure out where in your progress you were heading in on the star is next. Go direct. And the aircraft will go direct, get slowly back towards course. Some will go right onto course, some direct to the fix. And guess what? You're set to go. That's why your FMCs appear to mess up. And that's all flight sims, folks. If you noticed, when I went to do this approach change, I made sure my heading was on mine. So if something did happen, all I got to do is click heading select. The airplane writes back to that number, and then I figure out what's next. Okay, real quick, we said okay, for this radio, folks. I know the sun's making it kind of hard. I think, hang on, let me see if I can. Okay, we wanted to read ILS. Okay, and then we went 1119er. I'm just verifying my numbers, 1119er, and then activate it. Okay, now we're going to move it back down because we don't need it right now. Okay, and then you could 1119 over here as well. In case you have to have both for your Category 2 approaches. Heading 058. Alright, so we are now set for the ILS once we punch the number up. Top of descent is within 40 miles. First altitude is above 24. I'm going to set 16. Actually, I better do 24 and kind of watch it just so we don't get below upper. And again, 280 at. I know, fired a lot at you folks. Welcome to piloting. That's why being ahead of your aircraft is so critical. I want to be thinking in this speed, baby, okay, what happens after upper and decker? Well, tribe and then Nagy. Okay, I want to be knowing what I'm doing. Folks, you get behind these things, oh, never good. Trust me. It was a great story here. When I was in college at Ohio University, I was trying to get an aviation degree on top of a commercial or communication degree. And we flew Cessnas there, 172s. Pretty standard aircraft you run into at flight schools. Well, we had for our complex aircraft at this school a Bonanza. Oh, love that plane. V-tail, the whole, oh yeah. Well, folks, the landing speeds, believe it or not, are about 20 knots difference. Your approach speeds, so you've got to, in just that little bump up, plan what you're going to be doing on base to final when you're turning downwind to base. So you're setting the power, all of this, so the plane will be where you want it, and then you're ahead of it again. Otherwise, folks, you're just fighting the plane because you're just so far behind it. So that's just in the private pilot and instrument training world. I can't even imagine what it's like in this plane, considering we're doing, well, max speed in the Bonanza is approaching right there. Oh, yeah, but we're down at 12,000 feet, if that, probably more like 9, 10, 11. So, all right. So always try to be ahead. That's what you can learn in these sims, getting ahead of your plane. And that helps you in your landings so that when you come over the threshold, drop your power, and you should already be right on that profile, and the plane will just pull a little up on that. I mean, ever so slightly on the stick, and hopefully you lay a lot of grease on the landing. It's what we try to do. Sometimes successful, and well, sometimes we look forward to the next line. And now would be a good time, folks. Put those predictions in. What you think? Oops. And it goes just like you see how I did. Exclamation mark the word predict, space, and a negative number. Make sure it's a negative number. So, all right, we're at top of descent. Couple of options here for you. You can push altitude intervene or descent, and if these three are not visible and the word VNAV is, click VNAV page to the descent page, click descent now. Oh, really? All right, there we go. Now, I have seen on a couple streams out there, people get flustered, especially in Europe. Where do I set the transition level? Thankfully in the US, 18,000 for takeoff, 18,000 for landing. In Europe, as I hope to show later today, you may have a transition level in one country here, over in another country at this. In some of the countries in Europe, you may have, say, a 7,000 foot transition level at this city, and over in this city, it's 8,000 or 5,000. So, is it a big deal for your approach? No, but what it does is it's standardizing everybody to the same barometric pressure above that level. Below it, you're supposed to be at the closest airports or the airport you're going to. And we're down, coming down, down. Okay, I think we got the upper nailed. We're crossing that in 2 miles. All right, so we're going to set 16,000 now. Actually, I'm going to set 10,000. All right, all right. This is yeah, this is gonna be fun because all right, folks. Trying to get this thing to get within the parameters. The good thing is we are going further. The bad thing is I think ZIBO works on the top number, not in between. So that's why it's showing where we're going to be at. And we're getting a little fast.
And at this time, we would like to ask you to return to your seats, fasten up your seatbelts for the duration of the flight.
Okay, we are now going to definitely make it through 23,000, but be above 16 by Decker, DECRR. And hopefully by tribe we'll be closer to 10,000 than not. Oop. Yeah, no, that 100 foot, folks, could make or break it. All right, again, 280. We do our best to maintain. Reason being, you gotta, controllers are trying to work off, okay, he's 280, he's 280, he's 280. Where are they gonna meet if, and try to keep y'all safe. So that's why those arguments can be interesting. All right, we said now 6 right is not being, what the? Oh, that's done. I'm sticking with 6 right. What happened? What the heck? Why did we disconnect? Oh, VATSIM. It's already hard enough over here. Did I drop off the internet? The heck's going on here? Oh boy. Alright folks, well, I don't know what's going on, but it appears we're having internet issues in our area. So hopefully this will work its way through. I think that's why we disconnected. 3014. So I do apologize, folks. I don't know why Charter can't get their little grubby paws out of it, but it is, or Spectrum, or whatever their flavor of the day they want to be called. But yeah, it looks like we're having internet issues, so we'll see. We may not be able to fly that event if we're having this much trouble. The good thing is we do have it recorded, and we'll make sure to get it uploaded for sure.
Thousand to go.
Alright, I'm trying to let this little distraction not be a distraction, folks. Okay, sorry for that, folks. Just trying to haggle out why we're having such troubles, but then again, relying on monopolies, it kind of tells you the story. All right, so we're set up here. All right, so we're headed to Clavto and then Cleveto, whatever, down to 7,000, and after that we'll slow to 210. All right, so oh, you gotta love it, folks. Love to hate them. All right. All right, folks, we're about to turn to downwind of the runway. And
1,000 to go.
like I said, we're going to extend out once we make this turn. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like right in this area. Okay, we'll start our slowdown, folks. Make sure our lights are on, and they are not.
Please prepare the cab for arrival.
Yep, here we go again. All right, folks. So, like I said, if for any reason you miss parts of the stream, um, we do have YouTube, and YouTube is available for you. I really don't know why our internet does this. It is really bad today. I can't even tell if I'm connected. Oh, I disconnected. So, so yeah, folks, you'll have to rely on YouTube to see probably the ending of this. This is horrible and typical of what we deal with Spectrum. So if you have the choice between Spectrum and anyone else, usually anyone else is better. All right, looks like we're back up here, folks. Sorry you'll have to endure the ads, but again, um, my recommendation, if Spectrum's in your area, tell them where to go and use as many superlatives as you'd like.
Thousand to go.
But again, folks, for the parts you've missed, YouTube will be a great asset to you. We record all our flights. So that way, when we upload, you're getting the whole flight. And hope you enjoyed this one.
VATSIM to go. VATSIM to go.
All right, well, my apologies to the Cleveland area. We just popped up, I know, short final. Bear with me. .CTAF 24.5 in case we go off again. Oh, 500. There we go. All right, we're making the turn inbound, folks. Okay, we're about a 15-mile final. Again, my apologies for all the disconnects. Not sure what is going on with Spectrum here in the town I live in, but again, as I've been telling a lot of people, if you have a choice, you don't have to put up with it. We, unfortunately, they've got us by the you-know-where. We have an option, but I don't think it's much better. But believe me, every time this happens, they get closer and closer to being told where to stick Spectrum. All right, so let's kind of get on a positive note. We're about to come on the ILS. And there are the runways ahead of us. Okay, so 145. Cleveland area traffic, United 4791. About a 10-mile final, correction, 7-mile final, 6 right. Okay, we're on profile. Speed's a little hot, but we'll help that along.
Approaching minimums. 400 minimum. 300.
Light slow.
200.
Slow.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Yeah, guess what we forgot, folks? All of that garbage going on, folks, and we forgot the gear. Actually, what I think I did, besides the fact I screwed up and forgot the landing gear, I hit the flaps instead of the gear and went to 40. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well. Okay, well, let's take a look at the oh man. Well, folks, welcome to Cleveland. Trying to figure out how to make all right, well, that kind of stunk. Nice poor way to end. Let me go ahead and drop off the internet VATSIM intentionally now. Um, while we not really certain how I do this other than shut her down right here. Oh boy. Well, folks, you know, those things do happen. Thankfully, It's called a flight sim. Gonna try to trigger this to register at least a landing. That is one thing I'm not liking about this new Smart Cars 3. Waiting for the EPU, folks. Interestingly, the engines stayed on. All right, folks. Well, that triggered it right there. Um, the airline has us at 23 feet a minute. All right, folks. You all saw it here and on YouTube. Yeah, that kind of stunk, that landing, because we forgot the landing gear. And, yeah. Oh, well, thankfully, I don't fly a 737 in the real world. Now I'll never will. But yeah. All right, up to this point, let's kind of take a look at it. Everything looked great, folks, other than the fact we're on the runway. Why is it doing this? These internet issues, folks, cause more problems than a lot of people understand. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me, Google. All right, fair. Okay, I'll take care of that offline. Let's wrap this up here because I'm going to get very frustrated here very quickly with very simple program. So let's do this. Okay, so Sim Toolkit, let's bring that in here. And by the way, we are off VATSIM for those curious. Um, we landed gear up. Um, I think the first time I've done that. Second time, maybe. Okay, hour and 15 minutes, 350 miles, 20, call it 3,000 kilograms of fuel, 1.45 Gs at 373 feet a minute. All right, other than the fact we're still on the runway, it was really a nice landing, even though the gear wasn't down. Um, and overall, the numbers look good, minus the fact the gear wasn't down. So, it is what it is. Um, we're not going to replay it, folks. We're just going to go ahead and end the stream here. I want to check some things. Of course, now everything's working fine. Of course, it always does that. Well, I'm going to do a couple things on my network here. Um, my goal was to go over to Toulouse right now. We're going to get over there. We're just going to take a quick break. We'll be back up on stream here in about a half hour to an hour at the most. So stay tuned. I'm still trying to make that VATSIM event, folks. Just want to make sure our internet is doing better and I get this little issue worked out. All right, so we'll be right back. Hope you all enjoy, and God bless.